What did you send me?
Just
Oh, thank you. I was about to ask. I like basically no clue what the actual map pool is or anything like that. But
I just did them like 2 hours, or I started them 2 hours ago, so I was
That's
pretty
true.
late too. I didn't even watch Showcase. TGE has been playing Val for 10 hours just to stay at Diamond 3.
holy fuck, that's so sad. I'm Diamond 1. I'm Diamond 1. I'm Diamond 1. Live streams it?
Like 10 hours just to be the same rank. He's been like 1 game away from Diamond 2, or sorry, from what's it called, Ascendant.
That's so sad. I'm done. I finished a manga today. It was pretty good.
Which one?
Think about a Yankee something. It was really good. It's just called A Delinquent's Life Hacks. And it's basically about like this delinquent that like is really nice to people and then gives them advice.
I need that.
It was good. Have you? I don't know if you ever. I'll send it. Did you ever read Machida-kun's World?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I see. Yeah, it's very similar to that, but I mean, obviously, Gito.
Karin, 1 pointo. 1
Yep.
pointo. Advice.
1 point.
Oh, that's funny. Adobaisu. That's funny.
I assume this is gonna be an interesting match, though. Honestly, I think Girlfriend ASMR may just lose. I think they're just gonna lose.
Oh, they might. I mean, on paper, they're winning every LN.
Maybe.
But-
Adiza is actually, I'm pretty sure, really good at LN.
Yeah.
At least in late game LN. I think Ray is also, but yeah. I mean, it's literally, it's gonna be more about the second player than usual, I think. Like, it's definitely gonna be like Ichimaro versus somebody else, and then for Rice, it's gonna be like if Nep is able to play the Rice at the same at the same level as he has been.
I mean, he's one of the best Rice scalers.
Yeah, that's
so.
It definitely is true. But like, I just can't
think
really
more like in
how.
Beatty against Frog. Like, actually, you know,
I do
Coil
think
is like
Dev-
second.
Yeah, I mean, Dev Ray is just like a broken combo, right?
Yeah.
It's just like actually insane. Same thing with the Adiza. Dev Adiza on Corjack, I think is just like actually unbeatable. I'm pretty sure Adiza is the player that I'm thinking of. Like I remember seeing their name in like a bunch of the Rice and LN scores for Indo. Re-zeroed. Rezoro. Yeah, I feel like I remember seeing a bunch of their scores. Well, oh my god, he's number 1 on Einjodler Hirschgern. I love this map. All right. I didn't know we were live once again somehow. I swear to God, I checked the stream a bit ago and nothing happened.
It's just
Or there
bad
wasn't
luck.
anything there.
It's the
Yeah, just
curse.
another bad luck thing. Y'all get to see the background of our, I guess, thoughts on the match beforehand. But I'm SunApple. I'm here alongside Dynascape for the Grand Finals match, or first Grand Finals match.
Yep, here we go. Last two matches in order, and we have all of the top 3 seeds in it. And in the Losers Grand Finals, which is this match, we've got Gravity Coil Seed 1 versus Girlfriend ASMR Seed 3. As you can see here, gonna rush things a bit as we got a late start. Protects and picks are in place, and we do have Gravity Coil, or at least Girlfriend ASMR to pick first. We've got to protect LN1 from them, and Gravity Coil protecting Rice 6, banning LNX. So Gravity Coil seems like they are going for that Rice route, whereas Girlfriend ASMR more going towards LN lane. So classic Rice versus LN battle, but one thing I'm excited to see SunApple, very much so the hybrids. I think they're extremely interesting and pretty fun maps overall. Rice X banned from Team Blue, so no more X picks in the pool.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting to see these no X picks. Both teams probably just don't want to go into a even harder stage than what we already have. I know the X picks just already have been very, very difficult for everybody to play, even in the previous rounds. And I can't imagine how difficult these grand finals ones are. So it's interesting to see that neither team is very confident, I guess, in those kinds of picks, because they're not really opting to protect it either. But I mean, as you were saying, definitely these hybrid maps, we were talking about it before, these LNs I think are going to be the really, at least to me, they're going to be the most contested maps in the pool, just because both teams are really, really good at it. I feel like for Gravity Coil, or not Gravity Coil, Girlfriend ASMR, their team has, I guess, been carried a bit by their LN ability because they have had net vision. But against Gravity Coil, they have a pretty difficult opponent in Poca to be able to match up with net vision there.
Definitely agree with you with that little analysis. I mean, yeah, audience got to small peek into our sick and twisted commentator minds. We're talking about how
so
important the second player was for these teams, especially on things like Rice, and definitely on some things like Ellen I mentioned before. I'm not sure if the audience had heard it. On paper, I think Girlfriend ASMR should be more favored, but with all that being said, here we go into LNX. It's the wildcardy pick, a lot of jacks, a lot of shields going on this map. Pretty interesting from Girlfriend ASMR to pick this one first, as I know they typically prefer density as their first pick, as seen in the finals matches. However, I think that with Native Faith, this does branch out into a lot of good other picks later on, especially looking at coordination for maybe a second pick from them. But starting off with a small lead for Gravity Coil, definitely supported by the amount of accuracy over on Team Red's side.
Yeah, and just to let everybody know, the teams right now are flipped. So Nepogen and Peachmare are on Girlfriend ASMR, and Ray and Rezorod are on Gravity Coil. So right now the lead is in favor of Girlfriend ASMR in reality. And also an interesting thing to note is that, as I was saying before, talking about Poca, we aren't actually seeing them in this lobby right now. Maybe not feeling too comfortable on the later stages, which I do think is something that does happen to them, especially as we get further and further into like this kind of difficulty. But I mean, for now, we're seeing these amazing scores still coming out from both Nepogen and Peachmare. Peachmare definitely showing off their ability to even just scale up into this grand final stage is really, really impressive. Even with all these just such amazing scores, honestly, from all these players right now.
Yeah, he's attaining that first drop, so largely going on to the side of Girlfriend ASMR. And you mentioned Poca not being here. Truth be told, for this match, as you can tell, it's a bit of an awkward starting time. I think 30 minutes was the delay. This was requested by Gravity Coil. I wonder if it has anything to do with maybe Poca not being present, And if so, Poker really does need to get back quick and get all cylinders fired up, as Gravity Coil is kind of struggling a bit, beating on the combo front, beating on the accuracy front, and Neptune and Peachmare really just looking way too clean as we pass by the 3/4 section of the map.
Yeah, I mean, Girlfriend ASMR, or not Girlfriend ASMR, Gravity Coil being the only team to drop so far as we get into this last section. Ray taking another one, so all combo is gone for Gravity Coil, whereas Girlfriend ASMR continuing with these full combos as we get further and further into the map. As I say that, Peachmare miss, but it's often traded out by Ray, so it's basically even. Up to this 8k lead for Girlfriend ASMR, Rezoro taking another one, and I think that kind of seals the deal. There are so many nodes in this map that it isn't too obvious, but a 15k lead in such a, I guess, difficult map is kind of hard to come back from whenever you have like a sliver of the map left at this point. So I believe first point will be going onto Girlfriend ASMR, and luckily it is their pick.
Dropping at the end, but does not matter. Neptune is just too clean on these jacks, getting a 993.5, definitely securing that victory over for Girlfriend ASMR. As I said, it seems like Team Blue, or well, yeah, hard to tell, but yeah, Team Blue definitely having a bit of an upper hand, both in terms of MA, definitely in terms of grades as well, looking at the leaderboards, and just overall a crushing defeat for Gravity Coil. They're gonna have to draw something else up on the rest of the LNs because it seems like they have a tough road ahead of them. And they are the next pick, so they are going to try to look for definitely some of the Rice picks, I would believe. And if they did protect Rice 6, that was the Princess is Insane, and that was the tech map by Dark Stars, aka 0DZ0. Definitely a very speed-oriented pick, so maybe they would like to test the waters on something else first. Something like maybe Speed 1 is something I'd like to see, and maybe even possibly Rice 2 could be also a good choice from them.
Yeah, I mean, it's Gravity Coil's pick, so I do think going into the Rice slot is probably the best idea. Maybe something that is a bit more comfortable. You can definitely test something in the Core Jack as well. I don't know if you mentioned that. I think it is a good idea. I mean, on Gravity Coil, you have, I would say, probably some of the best Core Jack players, especially Core Jack Act players. Whereas Girlfriend ASMR, I would say, kind of struggle a lot on that. They do have Neptune, an insane accuracy player, but I do think they fall off a bit more in terms of core jacks. And with their other two backups being Invadey and Tristan Jacob, both of them are excellent core jack players. However, I think in terms of accuracy, they definitely fall off. But instead, we'll actually be seeing our Rice 1 here, which is another pretty good pick. We're actually going to see speed, though. I do wonder how this is going to go, since I feel like Girlfriend ASMR has been really consistent on these more simpler patterns.
That's definitely true. I think that anyone you pair with Neptune does, look to shoot for a very high score. I think in most cases we'll probably see either Tristan Jacob or Invadey at this point in the game. Shimura has definitely phased out of the Rice picks. Definitely, did their part in the early and mid game, but now that we're in the grand finals, it's hard to imagine that Peachmare is gonna be in here. So Invadey stepping in. They've had a bit of a shaky start and debut 2 weeks ago at the semifinals, I believe, and in finals had their ups and downs. So I think one thing I'd like to see from Invadey is some consistency, not missing any notes. I think that they can maybe match one of the other players on Gravity Coil, and Neptune can just do the rest of the work. The problem is, sometimes you get to see Invadey drop a lot of 200, sometimes you see a couple of misses. So hopefully on a straightforward set like Speed, we get to see them shine. And as the map starts off, this is the Speed pick once again, 3 minutes long, 368 BPM streams. Definitely a toughie ahead of them.
Yeah, I do want to say this match is a loser's match, so whoever does lose this is out of the tournament. No second chances for either of these teams. And also another big thing, Gravity Coil, this is a roster made up of mostly of previous winners of Touhou Mania Cup. So keep in mind, this match is very, very big for them. They definitely do not want to go out in third place since they've been so consistent at this first place for the past 2 years.
Exactly. I think the only surviving member of THMC is Adiza/Resurred, winning THMC 3 on that 3-man team. I forget who, but definitely a big one. Girlfriend ASMR losing a bit slightly in terms of accuracy, and that's on the front of Invadey, not having the best MA, and definitely with that miss, going to leak a lot of points over to Team Blue. Gravity Coil sweeping things up, misses on both sides, even trades Ray and Invadey. So 2 FCs on the board with Neptune and Dev. However, with that earlier miss from Invadey, things are definitely hurting for the side of Team Red.
Yeah, and these misses have not been clean on the side of Invadey. Their accuracy is all the way down from 99 or 299.5, and a miss comes out from Neptune. It is not traded by Gravity Coil, so this lead just continually expands further and further. And I would say this is kind of one of the easier bits, one of the places where a lot of these players can get their accuracy up higher, getting as many points as possible. So Neptune taking a miss there is not what you want to see. And another one coming out from Invadey. This lead is just skyrocketing faster and faster. It's getting really hard for Girlfriend ASMR to be able to keep up with these kinds of stream patterns at this point.
Yeah, Invadey not handling that transition back into the speed section very well, but Ray actually missing at the tail end of the stream section. Hopefully Neptune doesn't miss again with this small break, and Eradev, the only FC left on the board, 13,000 points. You'd think that with a couple of misses from Ray, things would be a little bit different, but no, Girlfriend ASMR is losing by quite the landslide. And I mean, definitely Dev is helping out with that FC, but just total domination when it comes to accuracy as well.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really seen this many times for Girlfriend ASMR. Normally they've been able to, I guess, easily carve a path, at least to be able to get to victory, but I mean, right here, there's, I feel like, no way for them to even take this point, especially considering Dev's just amazing accuracy. I feel like a lot of people know them for their accuracy on, I guess, these really, really difficult stream and just regular rice patterns in general, and they're really showing it off right here, continuing their FC up to the 99.8, honestly. We're not even seeing anybody close to this player right now, and the lead gets up to 20k. We have a sliver of the map left, and I think we'll see this tied up. Girlfriend ASMR 1-1 against Gravity Coil.
Yeah, both Ray and Invadey not seemingly handling those inside trills very well at the end, and Neptune even taking one to go. Gravity Coil, as you said, tying it up 1-1. Even match here. It seems like LN versus Rice truly is the name of the game. As we take a glance at the scoreboard, Neptune dropping 11, but still somehow having the best MA in the lobby. If they're able to clean that up, I think Rice maps could be way more competitive, and Ray and Invadey pretty close in terms of misses as well. It's just that accuracy, that MA from Invadey, leaving more to be desired. So it seems like for Gravity Coil, the main game plan for Rice is just to not miss, because if Ray and Dev can lock in some FCs, I think on paper they should beat Girlfriend ASMR by a couple of thousand points off of Axe slowly, or just off of that fact alone. And so with Girlfriend ASMR up next to pick, LNX is out of the question. We still got 1, 2, and 3 left. As I said, coordination probably a good pick, but I know they also really like density in general.
Yeah, I do think a problem with coordination that Girlfriend ASMR may be thinking is that generally with these coordination maps, they are a bit simpler, not simpler, less dense to be able to play, and that can definitely leave room for Poca to be able to come in, since it seems like they're awake, at least right now, so they should possibly be able to play, especially if maybe they feel like they're struggling a lot more on the density of some of these patterns in the LN. So maybe not wanting to play coordination is probably a good idea right now, though eventually they definitely will have to go in. But we will be seeing LN4 coming out on the side of Girlfriend ASMR. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes, honestly. This is going to be our more wildcardy, dumpy kind of LN map, so definitely something to keep note of for these players. Or not wildcard dumpy. Yes, okay, it is wildcard dumpy. So definitely something to keep note of for these players.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that this was picked. I knew that if it weren't banned, it would probably be picked in match. Definitely one of my favorite songs in this entire pool. You could tell Felt went really hard on the guitar, and that's where a lot of the dump difficulty goes into. Once the guitar solos come in, once you get these more isolated guitar sections, you see a lot of the density jack up, and also a lot of these dumpy LN patterns where there's a lot of staggers on the heads and the tails of both sections.
Yeah, and I think these staggers really help in favor of Girlfriend ASMR. A lot of them are super precise in terms of any of these comboing, especially on a lot more awkward LN releases, I would say, and that are really dense, like in these kinds of maps. We're already seeing it in this intro right now. It's very dense, a lot of different length LNs that are just constantly hitting you over and over again. But we're actually seeing both teams playing this pretty consistently together. Only 300 points in this early section. This map is decently long, so there are a lot of places to mess up on. Though the no count is also very large, so a miss or two honestly won't be the end of the world for either of these teams.
Yeah, that first guitar section really bearing its fangs, and as things settle down, we get to see Girlfriend ASMR at pole positions 1 and 4. Slightly behind, actually tied with Ray now, Neptune well above Resurrect, and 1,000 points is the difference. As we get into this next section, things are gonna start to fire up just a little bit, and like I said, a long map. Ray does fall, but there's so much left to make up, and Peachmero actually trades it back, but overall I think it favors Girlfriend ASMR by just a little bit.
Yeah, Girlfriend ASMR does have that accuracy advantage with Nepogen being pretty steadily above, right? 3-0'd. So as a result, this 15k lead is still in favor of Girlfriend ASMR. It is very small though, honestly. There's so many rooms for errors. We saw how much that miss from Ray swung it over to Girlfriend ASMR, and we see another one coming through. So this lead is going to double basically up to this 5k. As we get further and further into the map, the song just gets more and more dumpy and more things are happening. We see a miss from Neptune, but that also could have been Client. We saw a bit of lag there. But if it wasn't, that definitely gives a chance for Gravity Coil to come back from it. And so far, it's looking like it's fine.
Yeah, but with that vocal section, Resurrect actually missing Peachmero, trading it back. But after all is said and done, Girlfriend ASMR with the slightest bit of a lead. Everyone has missed now. There's no more FCs left on the board, but the most combo is on Ray, who has the worst accuracy in the lobby. If they can keep that up in Resurrect as well, maybe a couple of trades from Peachmero and Neptune, things can swing back in their favor, but there's not a lot of time left.
Yeah, we've been seeing these misses swing leads by about 2.5k, and as we get less and less into the map, but Neptune takes a very dirty miss, taking so many just absolutely catastrophic misses, but Ray is doing the same, so this lead actually just goes in favor of Girlfriend ASMR. Even with the miss from Neptune, it is at 10k. We get more and more into this map, and that means that there's only a sliver of it left in his Resurrect. Taking a miss, I think that seals it. Girlfriend ASMR will be taking another LN point for their team and securing the second very crucial point for them.
Yeah, and you see 3 players basically tied with each other as the map ends out at about a 99.5, but unfortunately Ray was the sole one left out at 99.2. Definitely the difference maker there as Girlfriend ASMR scoops up another point. Lots and lots of misses from everyone, but I mean, that should be a given. This is the Grand Finals map pool. FCs are very much a tough thing to get, and if you're able to get one on a map in this pool, definitely helps out your team by a lot. So Gravity Coil next up to bat, and they have a lot of different picks left in the pool. Like I said, they went with Rice 1 as their first pick. I think Rice 2 could suit them well if they don't want to pull the trigger on their Protect just yet.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it is a good idea to go for your protect just yet. Definitely using that just as a morale boost, I would say, is definitely the best idea, at least in my opinion. Maybe going for something. You saw that you did really, really well on speed, so definitely, I'm gonna say it again, Korjak is probably a really, really good pick. But if you are wanting to go into that, definitely something, another simpler kind of map probably can be like Rice 3, going for a bit more of a stamina kind of map, a slower jump stream, just giving Gravity Coil the chance to win out on ACK alone. Maybe if you're wanting to test the waters on your ACK ability compared to Girlfriend ASMR, both of those can definitely work. And I mean, I would say you probably have one of the best ACK players, Bryce ACK players in the game in ERA Dev. So you have a very big advantage because of it.
Exactly, and I like how you called Rice 3 stamina. In my mind, at this point in the tournament, every map just feels so stamina heavy. The average for the Rice and Ellen maps are over 3 minutes long, with HP average for time for them around like 2:45. So definitely any pick in this pool, you're basically strapped in for a long amount of time. That definitely whittles down your physicality. And Gravity Coil picking Bloodthirsty Nightmare Lullaby by Epic Man 2. This one is kind of like a dump tech map. There's some pretty straightforward patterns, but it feels like it's like some light jump stream with a couple of streams in between as a transition. So all things considered, like you said, I think it kind of sticks to the game plan of pretty straightforward patterns. We'll have to see how they do on this map, because I think it's decently speed focused as well.
Yeah, I definitely do think if it is pretty speed focused. I mean, we saw Gravity Coil kind of dominate in terms of that speed map earlier, and this one seems a bit faster actually than, or maybe I think it's actually a bit slower than the last speed map. But still, I think the Girlfriend ASMR was definitely struggling last round with their speed map, so it can definitely be a good sign for Gravity Coil. We are seeing Invadey once again, so we will be very much looking at Invadey, since I feel like they were struggling a bit more than Neptune last time in being able to hold their consistency. So if you are a spectator, definitely be sure to send your energy to Invadey to hit this FC that they desperately need.
Yeah, because as we saw from that last map, skill set is different, but I think the role is the same, where Invadey kind of has a bit worse MA than most of the other players in this lobby, but they can definitely make up for it with an FC on this map. And it's starting off pretty fast, I believe. Most of the jump stream are 1.6, clocking in at 270, and a lot of the streams are 1.8, clocking in at 360. And everyone handling this opening section quite well. Ray and Neptune tied up, Dev and Invadey tied up, but Neptune takes a miss in the transition out.
Yeah, a super early miss from Neptune. It shouldn't hurt too much, but another one coming through even before the 400 combo range is not what you want to see. Gravity Coil in an early lead. This map is, as you said earlier, pretty long, so there is a lot of chance for Gravity Coil to be able to take their misses as well. But I mean, we saw just how consistent they were last time in ERA Dev, being able to hold that FC, and there is a chance that it happens again. I mean, their accuracy is so insane. It is actually slightly worse than Invadey and Ray, but still very good for their score, honestly.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they're holding on really, really well, and able to beat Dev, who we said was going to be a contender for very good active lobby. Ray absolutely swinging in 99.9, well above that for them. It's just, if Neptune didn't have those missions, they were quite dirty. You'd have to imagine that Girlfriend ASMR would be about the same as Gravity Coil, and Invadey actually finally falling as well, so no more FCs on the side of Team Red, taking another miss to boot. Rain and Dev looking very clean here with a 16,000 point lead. They can afford a couple mistakes.
Yeah, on the bright side for Girlfriend ASMR, those misses from Invadey were decently clean. I don't think I saw any 200s around them, luckily. But I mean, as you said, this 20k point lead is just so massive. It gives such a big room for error for Gravity Coil. They can take 1 or 2 misses like they did on the last Rice map from Ray. But I mean, looking how consistent Ray is just absolutely destroying this map, 900.9. I mean, what can you really say about that? That's definitely not something that should be able to be done in such a difficult map like this. It's just so technical to be able to play. But I mean, we're just seeing them destroy it so easily. Same thing with ERA Dev. I mean, all these scores from Gravity Coil are kind of just easily stomping Girlfriend ASMR's right now.
And all four players absolutely killing that guitar section. We saw a lot of the funkier patterns with some Dorito-ish patterns, a lot of staircases, a lot of repeated drills, a lot of repeated stream patterns, and that jack transition actually catching no one out as well. Map is trying to close out, and that lead has not budged for Team Red. I don't think there's a lot of things that they can do to hope that Devil Ray can miss in this final outro, but they just seem way too comfortable here on the Coil, poised to take their next point and tie 2-2. SunApple, we might have a tiebreaker game here.
We definitely might. I do think it'll, as you said at the start of the match, I do think it'll definitely be going down to the hybrids. I am very, very, very interested in these hybrids right now. Though I think for now we'll have to stall just a little bit because Girlfriend ASMR still has two LN maps to be able to choose. And I do think they'll definitely be preferring those two. They still have their protected LN1 and a pretty free slot, I guess, in LN2 density. So, I mean, we'll just have to see how this goes, but Girlfriend ASMR has been very, very comfortable on both the LNs that they've played so far.
Exactly, and immediate pick from Girlfriend ASMR. They really did their homework. They know what they want to pick. Zillion lights as they shoot for 1,000,000 points on this map. Definitely trying to, and Coordination's definitely one of the harder ones to do it on. I think in general LN1 will have a bit lower average than some of the other maps in the pool because a lot is expected for the player, a lot of tricks to try to get you to either drop or hit a couple of 200s on this map. The main focus, I think, is the shields to go with the coordination. And they're just not regular shields. They're actually 1/8 LNs. So I mean, for most Percy players, and I believe everyone should be using Percy, they'll look like rice, but I think it means so much more where you have to be conscious about the release of that shield before you go into that longer note. So we'll see how people do, and we'll have to see how many 200s are dropped, but that should be a big difference in who comes out on top on this map.
Yeah, I have heard that these LNs are the ones that kill you on the spot if you miss, so be sure to not do that. Another thing to add is these maps so far that we've been playing, all of them have basically been 3 to 4 minutes long, so definitely at this point, even 4 maps in, we've played a total of probably like 12 to 20 minutes alone of just maps, just these absolutely brutal maps. So stamina can come to affect these players going into, I guess, a less physical map can definitely help out Girlfriend ASMR, who may be struggling a bit on it. Though for now we're seeing not really much changing, honestly. Girlfriend ASMR staying in a slight lead, though we really haven't gotten into the meat of the map, honestly.
Yeah, and I feel like even for that intro, it would make a lot of players in this tournament alone struggle, but everyone doing just fine. Here we go into the chorus. You see here these shorter LNs tagged along by a longer one right after it, and no one really getting outstanding accuracy like on the other maps. No 99.9s in place, and that should be expected on a map like this. Things are very close together, but Neptune actually finding a drop on one of the anchors, and suddenly for Gravity Coil, things are looking really good.
Yeah, I think this is the first time on an LN map that Gravity Coil have had at least any bit of a lead, and going a third the way through the map, it is looking pretty good. Though as we get further in, Gravity Coil definitely do tend to struggle a bit more on, I guess, staying focused. And that is something that Girlfriend ASMR is definitely going to be looking to abuse a bit. Peach Marrow have been able to show up very, very well in this match, honestly. They were able to get that top score on the last LN map, so maybe they'll be able to do it again. And it's kind of needed for Girlfriend ASMR if they want to continue to not take any breakpoints. And I think it is very, very bad for Girlfriend ASMR to take any breakpoints in this kind of match, just considering how great Gravity Coil is on these Rice maps.
Yeah, and here we go into this next section. Another course, and definitely for the courses, you have to watch out for some of these outside anchors where you're hitting the shields and then balancing the coordination on the inside columns. So everyone's doing just fine. I think Red dropped a bit in terms of accuracy, but more importantly, no drops on anyone. And because of that, Gravity Coil is still holding on to their lead, though I think Team Red is clawing it back by just a little bit. As I say that, Peach Marrow dropping, so all of that progress from Nupjin's fall was totally wiped out, totally reset, and it's back to square one as we get into this last break section.
Yeah, there's only a quarter of the map left, only so much for Gravity Coil to be able to need to hold on to for this lead is at around 7k, so that is around 2 to 3 misses for Gravity Coil that they can take, and that is one going out from Ray. This may be a sign of a comeback for Girlfriend ASMR on this map. As we get further into the map just gets more and more difficult. These LMs, these shields that are all over the place, littered throughout the entire course, are going to be just thrown at you over and over again, but we're going to be needing to see Gravity Coil continually step up against all of them, and so far they have been. As we get to this last section, I think this is looking like Gravity Coil will be able to take the breakpoint, and a crucial one that I believe they will need just to prepare just on what can happen later on.
Exactly. Gravity Coil with a much needed breakpoint, the first of the match. Girlfriend ASMR fall to their own strengths and lose out on Zillion Lights. That was the coordination map. Not too many LN maps left for Team Red to pick. They're definitely going to be the first one that needs to diverge into the hybrids if needed. Maybe a couple of surprise Rice picks coming up from them as well, but for now, Gravity Coil left up to choose which one they want to go for. And Rice 2, Rice 3 still up, both Jump Dream maps. Like you said, Cloud Hands could be a choice with the Core Jack pick. Just really what they're feeling right now. And I know the hand is very hot for Gravity Coil. They're doing very excellently on each map, so they should come into this next one with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, I mean, taking a breakpoint on such a, I guess, very close match in general is very, very big. Keep in mind that was Girlfriend ASMR's Protect, so something that they felt very confident on. I think it's about time for Gravity Coil to maybe do something a bit more out of the box. Maybe going for one of the next Rices, maybe like LN. What's the second to last one? Whatever the second last one is, I think it's like LN7. I think, or not LN7, Rice 7. I think going for Rice 7 is a good pick right now. You have the advantage of this breakpoint. If you don't win it, it's still fine. You still have the ability to win this pretty easily just by going Rice and hoping for a win on the TP.
Gravity Coil definitely has been the slower team to pick, more calm, more calculated, and especially with a breakpoint in their pocket. I think what's most needed is that they wanna make sure that they pick the right choice, and they're actually going for Rice 6 over here, so that is going to be translated in English at least. The princess's insane something or other, Japanese style on stream. This is the tech map by DZ, and it's very, very speedy, so definitely a good choice from them, especially in that first half. You'll see a lot of very quick bursts, I think up to like 1/12 or something like that. So as Gravity Coil boots up Paradev and Beatty subs in for Team Red, you have to think, like you mentioned earlier, Rain, that's just gotta be a little tired after playing every single point. And as the set goes on and on, I wonder if that fatigue will set in for both of them.
Yeah, we definitely say that, though. I mean, Raze did absolutely amazingly on that last map, and I think that it can be a sign for this map as well. Definitely a contender for the top scorer on this kind of more techie map, I would say. Though we'll definitely see how it goes right now. Neptune as we get into the map, we should realize they opt for mirror, so at least showing some practice on this kind of map. Another 3-minute map, so the stamina on these teams will definitely, if not at this after this map, or at the start of this map, after this map will be down. Early on, seeing Invadey taking a miss and a second miss, though it is traded off by ERA Dev.
I can't really blame either of the players. In fact, 3 of them missing so far, and I've been the only FC. Some evil patterns to go along with the burst to start off this map. It really feels like a slash in that sense, where it's just kind of so many weirder patterns thrown at you to start with. But as we kind of settle down, you'll see that a lot of it from now on out until about the halfway point are just going to be speed bursts, and that one actually catching out both Invadey and Ray. Ray kind of taking a very unclean one compared to Invadey, so decent lead building up for Girlfriend ASMR. If they can keep this up, hit those bursts, and make sure everything is clean, then they'll have a pretty good lead going into the back half. But Invadey actually missing twice, Ray missing once, and yet again, both top players not really having the best of time holding combo, and Neptune and Dev actually doing pretty well, all things considered.
Yeah, I mean, these bursts are just so brutal. They just come at you over and over again at such a fast speed. It is definitely understandable why Invadey and Ray are taking so many misses as a result. And I mean, it's really hard to come back from them. Even whenever you do play them well, you get just so many 200s. It is honestly crazy that Nep and Dev are able to get such high accuracies. We are getting to the second half of the map. 10k lead for Girlfriend ASMR. We saw this on the last LN map. So it is definitely a chance for Girlfriend ASMR to take back their breakpoint. They have a really big lead, but we will have to see how this later half goes. Neptune has to stay strong. We have seen them miss quite a lot on these more technical, or on these more difficult rice maps, so it is important for them to stand still as they can, but we're actually seeing ERA Dev taking their break.
Yeah, that top half battle going for the side of Girlfriend ASMR and definitely leading towards a higher lead. Last checked in on it. This back half way more varied in terms of technical patterns, so you see a lot more Jack representation to go along with the bursts. But something needs to happen for Gravity Coil. This lead, as Ray drops yet again, is absolutely skyrocketing, and at 20,000 points while climbing. As this map closes out, I don't think there's anything to be done. So Girlfriend ASMR actually securing back the breakpoint as Invadey drops at the end. Things are now yet again tied up 3-3, and what a needed point for Team Red to get at the height of confidence from Gravity Coil after getting a breakpoint, after absolutely killing it on their last pick of Bloodthirsty Nightmare Lullaby. Girlfriend ASMR actually snatched victory in a pretty convincing manner. I think at the end it was by about 20,000 points, so I mean, things are now tied 3-3. It's a first of 4, best of 7 now, and I'm kind of worried about how the map pool is dwindling down, SunApple.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. We are seeing less and less, I guess, viable picks for Girlfriend ASMR. We have that LN2 that is still a thing that I think Girlfriend ASMR are pretty comfortable on. By the way, we do see a timeout for Girlfriend ASMR, so this will definitely be a bit of a longer choice. But as I was saying, we do see that LN2 as well as all the hybrids, but I honestly, these hybrids are going to be very close. I think the hybrid 3 is going to be the best idea for Girlfriend ASMR to choose first. But I mean, after that, it's kind of difficult. It always will feel like shooting yourself in the foot just because it isn't the easiest to be able to win.
Yeah, I mean, you know, for the most part, I think LNC kind of seems like a straightforward pick. But with Girlfriend ASMR actually taking this time out with their pick next, it makes me think that they're not too confident on LN2. They might be calling an audible here, maybe going for one of the hybrids, which one to decide on. And even after winning on this last map of Red 6, I don't know if they have it in them to pick a rice map. That'd be quite surprising, especially when the set is so tight and you really can't afford another breakpoint. Team leader Neptune kinda needs to think about this for a while, mull it over, because one false step might lead you to a fall. And I don't know, SunApple, what do you think? What do you think the best current pick for Girlfriend ASMR is? And what do you think the best pick for Gravity Coil is right now?
Honestly, this is definitely a very pivotal point in the match. Honestly, we are 3-3. There's so many maps that are taken away from the pool that I think Girlfriend ASMR are very confident on. I think a good idea that you can probably do is just choose that hybrid 3, going for something that is, I guess, a bit more risky, but also something where you can at least stall a bit. Where if you don't want to play this LM map, it's understandable. Maybe you want to use it for later. Going for at least some sort of hybrid. Maybe it doesn't even have to be a hybrid 3, just some sort of hybrid. Giving Gravity Coil the opportunity to choose a map, choose something that maybe they don't feel as confident on, maybe that you are able to, I guess, get a surprise pick on and a surprise win on, can definitely help you out. And if Girlfriend ASMR is able to win their hybrid map and take a breakpoint, then it'll feel very, very comfortable to be able to go for that LN2. Or for kind of like a very similar rice map to what you picked. But I don't really know what the best pick is right now, just because there's so many factors. I personally, in Girlfriend ASMR's shoes, I would probably choose LN2, but I really don't know.
Peachmarrow asking how much time is left on the timer. A bead of sweat dripping down from the forehead, and they only have 1.5 minutes left to pick before the timer runs out. So not too much time before we'll see what they unveil as their next thing, and they are going for LN2, so considering it a lot, maybe trying to work out ways to diverge from the game plan, but no, they're going to stick with it, fill out the rest of the LN section, go with the density pick. And this one is quite the treat, quite speedy, and a big bump from finals, going up to 231 BPM, and retreated with some YuEast Katagiri density. So a lot of you familiar with these types of maps, definitely. Nothing too new here.
Yeah, I do think this does favor Girlfriend ASMR slightly. I think the LN1 that we did see was kind of, I won't really call it a fluke, but it kind of was a fluke just because like it is so different from what we've been seeing so far in these kind of LN maps. I think LN4 that we saw at Girlfriend ASMR very handily, I guess, take the point on is probably closer to this map in my opinion. So definitely Girlfriend ASMR should, I guess, feel confident, and they hopefully won't be going in feeling as though they can lose just because they lost at LN1.
And they can't afford to lose this one at all. Like I said, it's a best of 7 now. Things are getting tighter and tighter as we go into the Musou. And very, very, very quick opening. We see Neptune fling their team ahead with a pretty good lead over Resurred, and Peachmarrow actually doing well over Raid as we start off to this first Worlds.
Yeah, this is a very similar dynamic as we did see in that LN4, I believe. And hopefully we can continue to see this happening at another very, very long map. So a lot of room for error for both these teams. Right now, it's just based off of accuracy. And if this continues, we have seen Girlfriend ASMR be able to pull out on accuracy alone. Just because both Peachmarrow and Neptune are so good at staying consistent. And we are going to be seeing Resurred taking a break, but it is traded out by Neptune, so it is still dead even right now.
Yeah, both of the accuracy leaders before those drops finally falling. Now it's up to Peachmarrow and Raid to battle it out in the top half of the screen. They're tied at the moment, but any little inconsistency can change it for sure. Neptune still keeping up 99.76, so holding a bit of lead over Resurred despite the miss. Let's leave Team Red having the slightest bit of an advantage, but Ray actually falling in terms of combo, giving over a larger lead to Team Red. And we got a little bit of a break section, so they can build up combo pretty quickly. It's just that we're halfway into the map, and with Girlfriend ASMR building that lead in terms of accuracy, things are looking quite scary for Revenboy.
Yeah, and it is interesting to see that Nepogen has been able to get there actually back up to where it was before, whereas we are actually seeing kind of Resident struggling a bit more in terms of that kind of staying at this lower area and taking another break, which is not something that you'd want to see. As we get into the next difficult section, Girlfriend ASMR's lead is just increasing further and further as we get into the map, which is something that is amazing for Girlfriend ASMR. Desperately needing this for these kind of picks, getting back to being comfortable on LN.
Yeah, a bit of a switch up in terms of patterning, get a couple of these weirder inverses, a split trill LN to boot, and we go with a smaller, lighter section before we get into the last PI of the map. 8,000 points for Girlfriend ASMR, so it seems like they can probably afford about like 2 misses at this point, just from the merit of their accuracy, but definitely they can't afford to let loose just yet. Finally getting into this last density section, and really the accuracy skew can be seen by such a great margin. Neptune well and high above anyone else in the lobby despite the miss. Peachbro still the only FC in the lobby, trying to close it out strongly.
Yeah, and at this 10k lead, it's at, or 9k lead, it's been growing slowly but surely as we get further into the map. Peachmarrow staying consistent, Nepogen also staying consistent, and actually doing better than they were at the start. It's helping them out just so much. I think this should be a win for Girlfriend ASMR, giving them that little bit of stall, not having to go into the hybrid maps just yet. And I mean, this is something that is pretty good for Girlfriend ASMR, letting them see how they do on this next pick by Gravity Coil.
992 despite a mid-map miss is absolutely disgusting for Neptune. How do you miss and still FC? Definitely a head scratcher for tournament players alike. Gravity Coil up next to pick. Like I said, they've been taking their time, and they should definitely try to seek out what is best for them. Again, they still have their Protect, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But
yeah,
they still want pull the trigger. Let's see here.
Oh, looks like they actually don't have their Protect. Kind of funny to see. It looks like both Protects were actually the breakpoints that we've been seeing. Instead, we'll be seeing Rice 2, which is a bit more of a fast jump stream map at 290 BPM. So I think these players will technically be able to play these, though at this kind of accuracy that they need to is going to be interesting.
Oh yeah, I think that for this map, it is pretty speedy, and it's, I guess I would call it kind of basic jumping, but Miyamoto Chesu does a very good job of keeping it very varied, and also overall I just think it's a good jumping map. You'll see a lot of jumping patterns where the jumps actually land on 1, 2, columns 1 and 2, and then it's 2 and 3 for the next one, and then 3 and 4 for the next one, or the reversal. And I think that for this map, especially when you get to that speed, it can be a little bit awkward, but all players should be able to handle it. The main question is, how can you get your MA as high as everyone else's? And I think, like you've been talking about on all of the Rice maps, all eyes are on Invade for this map, and they try and match either Ray or Dev, and they FC this map maybe, and one of the players on Team Blue, if they can miss, Team Red can definitely capitalize on that and get yet another break point on a Rice map.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I think Girlfriend ASMR is going to, even as a whole, is maybe going to have to step it up just a bit for this map. It is 4 minutes, another extremely long map. All these maps have been very hard and very long, so Neptune and Ray definitely getting tired out by this point. I would say at this point, more than halfway through the match. So at this point, this is really going to be when players should be taking more and more misses. So I would check Invadey, but also make sure to see whether we are seeing cracks in the armor of Neptune and Ray, since I think both of them are definitely prone to a lot more misses than they were at the start of this match.
Yeah, they're running on their 8th straight map. And ooh, it's a 4-minute 290 BPM jump team map, so the work is definitely cut out for them in this next 4 minutes. Starting off though, Neptune and Ray still tied. That kind of has been very much the common theme for a lot of these dice maps. Invadey actually beating out Dev by quite a bit. I know Invadey very physical, very good at jump stream, and Ray actually missing on one of the jump stream patterns. So like I said, if Ray could miss and Invadey could keep this combo intact, they don't even need insane accuracy, even though they are providing the second best accuracy in the lobby. This keeps up Girlfriend ASMR well on their way to victory.
Yeah, I do think this is a perfect map for Invadey to be playing. They are very well known for having that physicality of probably one of the best physicality in the US, let alone in the world. And this is like the perfect thing. A stamina map at 290 BPM, probably kind of like their bread and butter, and we're seeing it at this 99.86. Dev is able to keep up with them, but I mean, Neptune has a really good accuracy as well, and this miss from Gravity Coil has just been super good at keeping this lead for Girlfriend ASMR. It is at this 3k range, and it's really just staying around here as we get into the first third of the map.
Oh, but Invadey finally falls, and it's quite ugly to boot. I think it was 2 total misses with a very late 100, and maybe some other bad judgment in between Jack transition here, but right back into the jump streams very soon. Invadey, that was not what you needed to do, but I still think it can be made up. Ray, despite that miss, it's still bordering on 99.9. We're gonna need to see yet another miss out of Ray or Dev in order for ASMR to take this back. And we're halfway in. You know, the stamina is settling in. The fatigue is starting to creep into the fingers of all 4 of these players. Anything can happen. There's only 3,000 points that separate them. And once we get into more of these jump stream patterns, I think we'll see a couple of 200s starting to trickle in from all 4 players.
Yeah, and I mean, it only takes a few 200s for this lead to swap over. It is actually growing to this 4k range. It has been flipped since this first third of the map, and as we get into the last section, I think this is where everything is really going to matter. This is where all the marbles really stand. Ray is going to have to continue to hold their combo as they can. Same thing with Dev, though I think, honestly, I don't know which one of them will miss first. This lead is actually increasing more and more. It is up to this almost 5k range, and I think if they get to that 5k range, it can definitely help out just so much, since it allows them to miss even twice, and that's just so crucial for them.
Last quarter of the map, same thing as always, we still have a lot of these jump streams. Surprisingly, no one's really altered on the Jack transition. I think that when you get really taken out of the element of the map, you'll see a miss, and that's actually exactly what happened once we get into that weirder transition. Invadey dropped yet again, so things still looking very dicey for Girlfriend ASMR, and with that last miss, it might just be sealed. It was traded out earlier by Dev, but unfortunately it does not matter when a Ray's act is pristine and the amount of misses that Team Red has accrued over the course of the map. So even though Neptune is looking at almost a 998, Gravity Coil will take the victory by 8,000 points. Pretty substantial, all things considered, and Ray with a 1 miss would have been a V1 SS. I thought that's what that score looked like based on the accuracy. Neptune with one great. Unfortunately, the MA was just not there from Invadey. Seems like that stamina kind of kicked in just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we did see the stamina kick in for both Invadey and Dev, so definitely showing that these players do have limits, I guess. Though we're not really seeing that for Ray or Neptune. for now. But it is time for Girlfriend ASMR to pick another very crucial one. We are at a 4 to 4 best of 5 at this point. So honestly, all these maps matter just way more than they did at the start. Very little room for error. I believe both teams can take at most one breakpoint, I think. I think Girlfriend ASMR can take one breakpoint and Gravity Coil can maybe take 2. I'm not too sure about the math on that. But for now, it's Girlfriend ASMR's pick. Which hybrid will they be picking? I highly doubt they'll be picking Rice, and if they do, I think it's no way they pick Rice, any other Rice besides Rice 7. But it's definitely going to be some hybrid, I would say. Maybe I'm going to continue to say hybrid 3, just because it's a full map, so that's probably a more LN-based one. But we'll actually be seeing hybrid 2.
Oh, this is actually quite scary. This is the Mint Custom, clocking in at 8.43 stars. Very burst heavy, very, I guess, stream heavy. If you haven't seen the map before, you'll definitely know why it's rated the way it's rated based on the patterns. And I'm kind of concerned. It seems like they're healing Invadey. And in my mind, it kind of does make sense, seeing how the Ellens on this map are, I wouldn't say inconsequential, but very much taking a backseat to the Rice difficulty in the map.
Yeah, I do think it is very interesting to see. Also funny to see the 666 BPM. So definitely shows that this map is just absolutely insane. That's definitely probably not it's probably not actually 666 BPM. But yeah, we will just get into this map. Probably somehow I'm going to be saying this for a 2-minute and 40-second map. Probably one of the shorter maps that we'll be seeing. So misses will definitely mean a lot more than we have been seeing so far. So Girlfriend ASMR, I will say, have been slightly more consistent than Gravity Coil, especially on these more hybrid maps, and we're already seeing it. Ray taking a very early drop before the Horror Hunter combo range, so it is still fine. But still, a slight lead for Girlfriend ASMR at the start is very good for them.
And here is why that map is 8.5 stars. Ray actually, with that early miss, things are looking pretty bright for Team Red, all things considered. Emptin and Resurred almost tied, Resurred having the slightest bit of a lead, but Invadey, more importantly, having both the accuracy and combo lead, doing very well, 99.67 from them. We get into this more breakdown section, some funkier Rice patterns, but here we go with some LN Jack to boot.
Yeah, and honestly, we are seeing this lead slowly dwindle for Girlfriend ASMR, and a miss from Neptune is not what you want to see. It is traded up by Resurred, so it goes back to Girlfriend ASMR, but it is only a 2k lead halfway through the map. I will say we are seeing Invadey playing very well so far, definitely well known for their DT ability on this random ranked map, so understandable why that is the case. Gravity Coil will need to continually step up their game if they want to see this. Girlfriend ASMR's accuracy have been helping them out so much, and Ray taking another break, it's not what you want to see if you are a Gravity Coil fan.
Exactly, and into one of yet another awkward transition. With Ray missing yet again, I feel like, and Resurred actually missing also, things are looking really good for Team Red. Could Invadey be the champion that Girlfriend ASMR needed? And on a hybrid map too, no actually drops at the end of the LN jump trill. Still though, beating out Ray in terms of accuracy, I think definitely in terms of score too by a decent amount of 1,000 points. Neptune also cleaning up things very well. So even though there are no FCs left on the board from anyone, with Resurred and Neptune trading out, I think things are moving towards Team Red. They should be able to take this one home.
Yeah, Invadey has been able to hold it out for as much as they needed to for that first, I guess, 2/3 of this map is just absolutely so helpful for Girlfriend ASMR. At this point, they are guaranteed to. Oh wait, actually, Neptune and Invadey taking a miss, and it swings to Gravity Coil at that last second. 61-point difference.
SunApple, what just happened?
That is.
You are a witch about to go up on the Salem trial for that curse. That was probably one of the nastiest curses I've ever seen. 61 points for Gravity Coil. Everything cracking at the end for Team Red. Everything crumbling down. Gravity Coil forming highway robbery as they squeeze water from stone and make away with things that they shouldn't. We suddenly find ourselves 5-4 in favor of Team Blue. We thought everything was set. We thought that Girlfriend ASMR had it in a chokehold, in the bag. But no, the last 3 seconds determining everything, and the confidence must be shaken up for Team Red.
Yeah, I will say definitely at least shows that Girlfriend ASMR is able to play really, really well in those hybrids. I think something that they can do, they can definitely abuse a bit that Rezo Red isn't as comfortable on these kinds of rice maps, and they are still kind of forced to play these LN or hybrid maps just because they are the best LN player on their team. Though, we still will have to see Gravity Coil choose a map, and Girlfriend ASMR desperately have to win. They have to take a breakpoint to even get to tiebreaker if they are to win, let alone get to tiebreaker right now. And we are seeing Rice 3 right now, another jump stream map. Very, very interesting to see. We saw them play very, very well on the faster jump stream map. So I am interested on the slower one, going for a bit more accuracy base, even if it is slightly longer.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I'm still reeling from that last map. I think I have whiplash from just what happened in those last couple of seconds. But for these players, I mean, Gravity Coil picked pretty quickly, all things considered. They are going to need to gear up and focus on what's ahead of them, what's in front of them. Beatty staying in. I think we'll probably still see... Oh no, we won't see Neptune. Actually, Neptune taking a bow out, and we are going to see Brisket Bacon, aka Tristan Jacob, changing their name 3 days ago to try to trick us in terms of commentary. I think it's crazy if you change your name on Grand Finals weekend, but I mean, you know what, I can respect it, all things considered. Ray still waiting for their fourth. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Lisa? Is it going to be Dev? Are we going to see the first sighting of Poka?
I think it's probably going to be Dev. I'd be surprised if it's anybody other than Dev. I do think this slot for Girlfriend, or these players for Girlfriend ASMR are very, very interesting. We are seeing, I would say, a much more consistency-based team. Both Tristan Jacob and Invadi, I would say, are very physical, not really caring too much about, I think Tristan Jacob especially, not really caring too much about accuracy, much more caring about whether they're able to hold a combo. And that can definitely be pretty good for Gravity Coil, since we haven't seen, or for Girlfriend ASMR I should say, since we haven't seen Gravity Coil taking quite a few misses. I would say a lot more misses than they'd like, and Girlfriend ASMR may be able to take advantage of that. And also, I think this roster is pretty good just because it allows Neptune to be able to take a break, which is probably much needed for their team at this point. As a result, Gravity Coil will continually have to play Ray up until probably their last map, and going to tiebreaker with no break is very absurd. It is very, very... I wouldn't say it's a death sentence, but it's very close to one, basically, just because you've been playing, what? How many matches is this by now? 5, 10, like 13 maps, basically, just in a row of Grand Finals level difficulty, 0 break. It's just so difficult to be able to do.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Ray has been playing over an hour-long straight of Grand Finals level maps, and what a map to continue it on. This one being the slower jump stream map of the pool, going down from 290 to 276. But as is the common case with a lot of the previous rounds, this one's patterning is a much harder. And you see it immediately with both, or all three of Ray, Tristan Jacob, and Dev missing, and Vedi being the only FC, yet not at a great accuracy. You see a lot of these weird split chill patterns just to really kick you while you're down, and Dev not being able to combo one of them means that Smart is starting off with a slight lead. Brisket Bacon, Tristan Jacob trading it out, so Gravity Coil scoops back up, and Vady finally falling last FC on board, wiped out, and 4,000 points in climbing is the difference here. Man, we are gonna have to strap ourselves in because there's still 3 minutes left in the song.
Yeah, 3 minutes left, 5k lead for Gravity Coil right now. And we're already seeing it. This accuracy from Gravity Coil is just absolutely insane compared to Girlfriend ASMR right now. To Invady taking another miss, just adding another one to the draw, or adding another one to the bucket. 10k lead for Gravity Coil. It'll continue to grow up until Invady gets to that 40 or 400 combo, taking another one. It is traded out by Dev, so it isn't as big, but still, I would say this lead will just continually to grow over and over again, up until a miss or two happens from Gravity Coil, since they will have this accuracy advantage as well.
Yeah, pretty tough first half from Girlfriend ASMR. Definitely can make things up, but seeing as how there's more to be wanted in terms of accuracy combo, it's going to be very much an uphill battle, and that hill made steeper as Invady falls yet again. One of the longer jump stream sections, and as you can see from the pattern, it is quite hard. We finally get into the break, and as we assess the damage, things looking pretty bad for Team Red.
Yeah, definitely very, very bad at this point. 15k lead, very hard to come back from. We saw a 6k lead in the last map being come back from in the last few seconds, though I don't think that similar kind of dynamic is going to happen here, just because I would say it's a bit harder to chain break in a sort of stream map, especially to the degree of 15k, 15 plus k, since Invady is taking another break, and it was very, very dirty, so we are getting up to that 20k range. A fourth of the map left, and Invady just constantly dropping, definitely showing a lot of stamina issues at this point. It is understandable, they've been playing just so difficult maps at this point, and this map is just so long and so dense and so just like hand streamy, so many jump trills, everything is being thrown at you.
And here we go with more of the split trills as well. Definitely be sure to catch out a couple of players as Brisket Bacon falls to one of them. I think there's only one more jump stream section left, but with 40,000 points difference between these two teams, it really does seem insurmountable. Aerodev has done well to recover from their early drop, and Ray has been such a good anchor for the team. We talked about whether or not they can perform up to snub with how long they've been playing in the difficulty of these maps, but no, they're just still knocking it out of the park. This guy is an infinite well of stamina as this map closes out with some more split trills. Invady falls yet again to one of them, Brisket Bacon 2. So Girlfriend ASMR, no survivors left in the ending as Gravity Coil closes it out pretty cleanly. Everyone but Ray falling on one of the last patterns, and my goodness, 50,000 points, the largest win that we've seen tonight. Girlfriend ASMR on life support now as they have the last pick, or I guess the next pick, but they need to make some magic happen. They have a couple of hybrid picks left in their pocket, as they have, I believe, hybrid 1 and 3 still up for grabs, and a couple of rice picks left if they feel extra cheeky. But I wouldn't really roll the dice there, especially as you are on match point for Gravity Coil.
Yeah, I definitely don't think rice is the option for Girlfriend ASMR. I definitely do think you have to go for hybrid. Hybrid 1 is the pick. I think it is a good pick since you can, I guess, force out a bit more of Adiza's stream, or not, I guess, not their lack in stream capability, but I guess how they are just worse than, I would say, Nepogen at these kinds of stream maps, just because they've been struggling a bit more on these more physical maps. And this map is very, very streamy alongside the LN, and they kind of are forced to play it just because the LN exists. But we will be seeing Neptune and Peach Marrow, both two new players, both fresh, very, very well stamina backed, I guess, well refreshed for this map. So very good to see it.
Yeah, definitely good to see Neptune back from their much needed break, and Peach Marrow too, as they got to sit out on the Rice map. So Team Red, the freshest they could be, Ray and Resurred, looking like they're going to be the lineup for Unprivileged Access. And Hybrid 1, this is the stream-oriented pick. Both Rice streams and LN streams. I think this was probably slightly better than Falling Fireworks Hybrid 3. We'll just have to see how everything pans out yet again. Girlfriend ASMR at the edge of the rope. They are fighting for their tournament lives here. They're fighting for a chance to still win first place. Loser here gets out at third, so still gets that podium finish, but I know everyone here wants more than that.
Yeah, keep in mind, Gravity Coil, as I said this at the start, has some players who won previous iterations, so it is very big for them to be able to win this, to have the chance just to win another iteration if possible. And Girlfriend ASMR continuing or trying their best to take a stance against this team. So far, a lead actually has been for Gravity Coil, just based on accuracy, I would say right now. Adiza taking the first break right before the break, which is very, very bad. 10k lead. This is the shortest map that we have seen at just barely under or over 2 minutes. So these misses absolutely devastating.
Yeah, hopefully no one can break any more on that weirder release section. And I think the main focus, as Resurred actually drops yet again, is as long as Peach Marrow can beat Resurred, and I think that is probably going to be the case with 3 misses under Resurred's belt. Girlfriend ASMR can definitely take it. Nemjin has done well to match with Ray, actually beating them by just a little bit, and with Ray actually missing as well. Resurred drops no more full combos on the side of Team Blue, and a full reset for them as well. Team Red is looking super clean. Currently, both on an FC, both the highest 2 in lobby in terms of accuracy, and we get a bit of a jack section here, so maybe things can shake up for Gravity Coil. Maybe a couple of misses can be garnered, and Neptune actually finding that first one. Can the same be said for Peach Marrow as we get into this last 6?
Yeah, it is definitely, I guess, the same, even if the same is to be said from Peach Marrow. 50k lead, almost impossible to come back from, especially with so little time. I think Girlfriend ASMR is able to take their pick, going on to the most important map of the match so far. We saw a very important map of LN2 pick from Girlfriend ASMR, and that was, I think, a turning point in this match. But I think this is definitely the turning point of the map. This is do or die for Girlfriend ASMR. Gravity Coil gets to pick it, which is not something that you want if you are in Girlfriend ASMR's position. Though, luckily, if Girlfriend ASMR is able to take the map, it is looking very, very clean, just judging off of this hybrid score. Because, as we all know, tiebreakers are just big hybrids. So, it's definitely looking good for them. But first things first, they got to make sure that they are able to take this rice map. They have what's left? The mixed rice and the core jack. Yep. I said this at the start. I think Gravity Coil should be choosing core jack at this point.
Probably. And going back to that last map, we're like, wow, for Rice 3, things were kind of a blowout. Gravity Coil won by 50,000 points. This last map, also, Girlfriend ASMR wins by 50,000 points, so we're really getting into the nitty gritty here as Gravity Coil chooses the last normal pick of the pool, trying to close it out with Girlfriend ASMR, making sure they don't get to the tiebreakers, especially what you're saying. Seems like they could possibly be favored in a tiebreaker scenario. Ryusate is going to be the last pick, and it's also the shortest map in the entire pool. The only one under 2 minutes, clocking at 1:55. This is a mixed pick, I would say, a mixed rice, and it really is kind of just like a toss in the air. There's been a decent number of breakpoints through and throughout all the categories, a couple in Rice. So I don't know who has it. It feels like, you know, Gravity Coil is the one that has the handle on Rice for the most part, but Girlfriend ASMR can definitely make things happen, as Invading and Neptune have been a very solid duo. You know, they had that tragic ending on that other Rice pick of, I believe is what, Rice 6? Something like that. Yeah, I think, you know, as long as nothing crazy happens yet again, and we don't see a double disastrous drop from those two, they might take this. I think this really could be a tiebreaker match. We said at the start, you know, it's looking to be like it, and of course, I think everyone would want to see Team B.
Yeah, this is going to be the do or die for both teams. I do think it is really funny as we get further into the match, the songs actually get shorter, and we're ending this maybe with the shortest map if Gravity Coil is able to win. But first, we gotta see whether Gravity Coil is able to stay as consistent as possible on this map. We have been seeing Girlfriend ASMR play very, very well on the tech map, so we will just have to see how it goes.
Yeah, some scenarios Invading actually beats out Dev, depending on the skill set for the most part, as long as, you know, stamina doesn't get to them. And Neptune, of course, matching Ray as per usual. A lot of these jacks are coming out. They can be very weirdly anchored, but it seems like so far they're doing well. Invading first drop of the map. Not what you want to see if your Girlfriend ASMR. Gravity Coil gonna do their best to try to keep things in shape for as long as they can, because again, it's not a very, very long map. 10,000 points just off of that one drop is absolutely disastrous for Team Red.
Yeah, that's just so bad at this point. 10k lead for Gravity Coil. It can still swing over, but Invading's miss earlier is just so devastating. It was very bad accuracy. Ray taking a break as well, so with this lead is going to go slightly in favor of Girlfriend ASMR, but it's only going to be by a slight bit, especially with Neptune taking a break as well. Only a third of the map left. Right now, ERADF has to stay strong as well as Ray. Hopefully this kind of stamina doesn't come after Ray at this point. 13k lead and growing as we get further and further into the map. Only a fourth of it left. We are seeing right now Gravity Coil maybe have taking the possibility of going to the next round.
Oh, it's such a close match, but can Gravity Coil end it all off of the back of Aero Dev, finishing with an FC? We'll have to see. Invading Neptune trying their best, garnering pretty good combos, all things considered, especially with the mid-map misses, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Ending Jax is going to seal the deal, and Gravity Coil takes it in yet another close match in the finals and grand finals. 7-5. We've seen so many of these heartbreaking losses, and this is another one of them. Girlfriend ASMR is out at third, so getting their place in terms of seeding. I know a lot of people would have loved to see them in the winners grand finals, but alas, it cannot be. It can only be one team, and that team moving on is Gravity Coil.
Yeah, congratulations to Gravity Coil. Very, very close match, honestly. Both teams played super well. Definitely did just come down to that unlucky Hybrid 2, I would say. Not really unlucky, but like that Hybrid 2 was just so close. They could have gone either way.
So again, Gravity Coil moving on. Congratulations to them for beating Girlfriend ASMR, and of course GG's and thank you for playing Girlfriend ASMR. Definitely put up an exciting amount of matches. Very hard fought, and always love to see them in tournaments. Good to see a couple of them at least in MWC later on this year. But for now, we're gonna see a run back of Gravity Coil versus Mahjong Seoul official. That's going to be, I guess, technically tomorrow. That is going to be Sunday 5 UTC, so about the same time, about 23 hours from now. Make sure you do not miss it, because last time it ended in a very tight win for Mahjong Seoul officials, 7-5 in winners finals. SunApple, anything else to add before I outro it with a little bit of a show?
Nothing much. I guess congratulations to Graphic Coil once again. Sadly, Peachmare was not able to hit his Dragon Blades today. But yeah, thank you all for coming. Have fun with Dynascape's show.
Yep. Well, last thing to mention is the Kofi. So, if you guys have heard any of my casted streams, you'll know that we have something set up for you guys to support the tournament. A lot of effort goes into making these kinds of open rank tournaments, these super large team-based tournaments. Touhou Project Mania Cup is no different. It's a long-standing pillar in the community and just overall organization, providing really cool content over the years. And we hope that you guys everything. If you did, we do have a Ko-fi link open that is going to be at the bottom of the Bilibili stream or the Twitch stream, as well as the links channel in the Discord. So if you are able to, please support the host, the organizers, and all the artists that have made some amazing custom stuff for this tournament. Thank you very much once again, and we hope to see you guys in the pinnacle of match play, the grand finals. Once again, that's going to be at 5 UTC on Sunday. Hope to see you there, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye.